Hey friends, and welcome to this very special live stream as we've set up here in our studio, because today we're going to be taking a look at and benchmarking an RTX 3080 card. It is, however, 5 more minutes until I can tell you what card that is and actually show it to you in the computer here. So let's talk a little bit about why this generation of graphics cards is going to be quite exciting. NVIDIA is going for what they call the triple double, where they are doubling the performance of 3 of the main segments of the RTX pipeline. That is RT cores, mesh shaders, and let me see, the streaming processors. I always forget. Yeah. Looking at the chat here. Damn you, Lisa. Interrupting my flow. Anyway, so what this means is that they are giving us double the performance of the previous generation, and at the same time the cards are being priced at even slightly lower than what the previous generation launched at. And NVIDIA has been very aggressively going after, well, people that are still using 10 series cards like myself in my rig at home with a 1080 Ti. That now is the time to actually upgrade, because now ray tracing and RTX is actually worth the jump, especially at this price. So with the advances of DLSS 2.0, which means that the card is rendering the game at a lower resolution and then getting information from a database, which is basically through machine learning, that tells the card, oh, this is how you upscale this resolution to a bigger resolution without using actual resources on the card, meaning that you can get higher resolution and frame rates without taxing the card more. And I wasn't sold on DLSS when that first came out. It didn't quite work, but DLSS 2.0, yes. We've seen massive performance gains across different titles. And of course in synthetic benchmarks as well, although I don't think synthetic benchmarks using DLSS 2.0 is, because it is machine learning, meaning that if it's the same thing that's rendered all the time, well, they would get really good at knowing exactly how that would look at a higher resolution. So the question is if it scales into a game where you're actually moving around, and the answer is yes. So far in our testing, that has been the case. Now, there are 3 cards that have been announced for this generation. The 3080, which we have here, and I'll show you in a little bit and start some benchmarks. Looking forward to it. And then there is the 3090, which is replacing the Titan series of cards. So basically it's the huge big brother to the other cards. And that is, there's some insane specs on that. But we're expecting to be getting that as well before launch, so we'll do something similar with that when that comes. And then there's the 3070, which is the little brother, and it's funny calling it the little brother because the 3070 actually, on paper, as shown by NVIDIA, comes in at as more powerful than the 2080 Ti, which is crazy. So also looking forward to getting our hands on that and trying that out. Now, of course, in a minute, we will have a full review on this graphics card up on the site with a vast amount of benchmarking done already by our Technic Kim, which you can go and read after the stream, of course. Don't go anywhere while we're here. We also have a quick look where me and Magnus talk a little bit more about this specific card, the design and stuff like that. But I think it's almost time. I'm looking at the clock because I wish I could have just started the stream by showing you and telling you the name of the card that I have. But yeah, strict legalese. I'm still not allowed to. Now, this card I believe launches today. So we've heard that there have been some lack of supply for the 30 series cards, which is unfortunate because like I said, this is the time to upgrade if you haven't already upgraded to a 20 series card. Is the upgrade worth it if you're moving from a 20 series super card? I don't know. Maybe then wait a little bit, but it's time. So let's get this out of the way and put this up. So we're taking a look at, let's get that in frame so you can actually see it. There we go. So it's the Gamereactor Trio 3080 from MSI that we have been benchmarking here, and I'm going to be benchmarking now live to kind of corroborate the results. It's a bit warmer here in the office than in the tench bench where it was originally tested, and we're going to be running some games. Of course, I see the chat already asking for some games that they want to see tested. Rust, unfortunately, I don't have it. I'm sorry. So, but I have some surprises. First, we're going to be running some synthetic benchmarks. So let's first, before we start that, give you a little bit of a close-up here of what the card actually looks like. Let me. No, that's in focus, I think. So as you can see here, the graphene backplate. I like the LED implementation this time around. I'm not so sure about this hole there in the backplate, but I was very careful mounting it that I didn't scratch it at all. And as you can see here, we actually have 3 power cables running into the card, but still 3 normal PCIe 8 pins from a standard power supply. So no need for a custom 12-pin NVIDIA plug. But put that down here and actually start running some benchmarks. First of all, let's boot up 3D Mark. And to log in first, because I had to reboot the computer before we started. Nobody saw anything. A little bit of a taste of what's to come. Now we're going to launch up 3D Mark and force it to 64-bit. Oh yeah, by the way, I do have the chat, but it's behind me. So I'll be reading it every time I turn around. But when my back is turned and we're actually running something, not so much. Scanning system info. So should we just run Time Spy first off and then move on to some high res? Yeah, let's do that. We'll run Time Spy first. But yeah, some info about this system aside from the MSI Gamereactor Trio 3080. We're also running this is an Intel system, so we are running the 10900K. So yeah, we shouldn't be hitting any bottlenecks there. We have 32 gigabytes of I think DDR 3600 RAM, and see, yeah, it's gonna run the demo first. I should have turned that off. And interesting why it's not showing me my afterburner information. I'll have to fix that before the next run. Yeah, sometimes when you actually run these benchmarks, it doesn't hook with Afterburner. So, yeah. Being asked how much was the RTX 3080 from MSI, the one you have. I actually don't have a price on it. This was sent to us from MSI as a review sample, so we haven't actually paid for it ourselves. But maybe if I speak loud enough, Kim will hear me and tell me what the retail price of the card is, because I think he's been struggling with that all day to get that translated into local currency for all the reviews. Because again, we have a full text review up on the site right now with the local currencies, and of course, like I said, a full suite of benchmarks there already. Sean says, yo, yo. Oh yeah. Yep. So yeah, it's 860 euro recommended retail price for this very card. And did you see my magic trick, by the way? The box just appeared up there. So yeah, that is the recommended retail price for this specific model. Which, again, if you think about the pricing of when the 20 series cards came out, and even the 20 super cards, even though that was price matched, I think, we still were getting double the performance for same or lower price, which is quite fantastic. Oh yeah, by the way, now it's actually going to run the benchmark because, like I said, I forgot to turn off the demo. So first off, graphics test 1. Let's see how the 3080 handles itself. Now the very interesting thing is a little bit later when we get into 4K and DLSS tests and stuff like that, and compare like a 4K run through of a game or a benchmark of a game with and without DLSS 2.0 enabled. Only 110 frames? How can I live with that? My eyes. But yeah, we can actually see my Afterburner stats as well, so we get a little bit more detailed about exactly what's happening here. I mean, the GPU is running pretty cool at around 70 degrees while running at 99% with the clock of, well, it's reaching just under 2000 megahertz. Oh, and by the way, I haven't enabled any sort of overclocking through Afterburner or anything like that. I want to run it stock before we might check out if I can, up the voltage or the clock or something like that a little bit later. See if I can squeeze a little bit more out of this. And Wasted Sausage is saying, oh yeah, nice. I wonder how much more FPS the 3090 will get from the 3080. Yeah, well, that's an excellent question. One that we will answer hopefully before the launch of the 3090 card series, as, yeah, we hope to get one in our hands before that. But I mean, I think, like, if you look at the specs on it, I think for the most part it's almost double on everything. RAM, cores, yeah, like at least double. I mean, the 3090 enables you to play in 8K at 60 frames per second even, theoretically, if you have a monitor that can do that. I could have maybe skipped the CPU test as well, since we're focusing on the GPU here, but I'm not gonna cancel it now. So here are the TimeSpy results, 17,319, and we can actually compare that, so 11,432 is what we got with the 2080, and I actually got a higher score than Kim managed to get in his run through. So I think I'm getting about like 50% higher results. We're off to a good start. So let's check the benchmarks out again, and let's run TimeSpy Extreme this time in 4K with DirectX 12. So, but I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna include the demo this time around. And let's go. Hall of Fame top 5, 20,440. Let's see if we can get there. I mean, presumably that's somebody running with like a nitrogen-cooled CPU and GPU. And again, I haven't applied any overclocking yet. This is just out of the box, plugged in, and let's go. I said, let's go. Stop collecting my system info. What are you, the NSA? So obviously we're getting lower frame rates, but I mean, that's expected as we're running in 4K now. I've always wanted to see TimeSpy turned into an actual game. Like, I think that the concept that they're working with in this, well, benchmark is actually could be quite interesting gameplay-wise as well. But here's hoping. But yeah, while this runs, let's throw a little out to the chat. What games do you want to see benchmarked? And actually, let's see if you can guess some of the games that I have lined up. I mean, I did make it easy for you by showing you the launchers earlier, but let's see. I'm being asked here, not sure if I missed it, what CPU you running? So we're using the 10900K. From Intel. We've also tested this card with an AMD system. All that info is in the written review that's up on the site right now. Let's see. But yeah, hit me up with what games you're hoping to see me test out and which ones you think I have selected. Actually, I mean, I think the cooling, because of course when you're thinking about third-party cards, one of the main things is, of course, if they've upclocked the clock, or how they're cooling the card. And if you look at this, we're running at 70 degrees at 100% load, basically, sustained, which is it's good. Put my water. Wasted Sausage mentioned a bunch of games, but I'm only gonna read up the one that I'm actually gonna test, and that's Control. Yes, I'm gonna boot up Control. Maybe I'll do that next. Oh, what is happening here? Yeah, CPU is not having a good time right now. How is that possible? It's running up to 90 degrees. That's the cooler. Whew. That you don't want to see. Let's see what score we got. Oh. That is unexpected. CPU load. I mean, yeah, the CPU throttled down like all the way down. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit lower than Kim got during his testing for TimeSpy. I got 8,612, he got 8,663. But comparing that to what we got on the same system with a 2080, which was 5,394, we're still seeing heck of a lot of gain. So, I mean, there's that. Although, maybe switching out the cooler and get a better cooler for the CPU might help with that next time. Anyway, let's hit one more benchmark. Let's hit Port Royale. Because I'm not really interested that much in Firestrike Ultra in 4K on DirectX 12. I want to focus on DirectX 11. I want to focus on DirectX 12. So let's hit Port Royale, which is the ray tracing benchmark. But yeah, if the ray tracing update for Fortnite was already out, I would test that. But I have no worries that this system can run plain old Fortnite very adequately in 4K. Now the question, will it hook Afterburner? Yes, there we go. Yeah, we are sitting at about 50 frames. Clocking up to 1995 megahertz at the top there. Now up to what, 65 is probably going to be like an average of 55 frames or so. Oh yeah, well now I changed that to drop down to 49. Nearly there. I think I'm gonna run this animation again with the DLSS test right after this, because it is very interesting to see when it first runs through without DLSS on and then runs through again with it on, just how much higher in frame rate you're getting without any loss in visual quality. But let's see, we got 11,621. Check out over in the sheet. We're slightly under what came out, but like I said earlier, the ambient temperature here in the office is quite high right now, and I have the case open for display purposes and stuff. So, but compared to a 2080 Super, we're smoking it. Let's run the DLSS feature test just for funsies before we head into sorry, testing actual games. Let's see, DLSS performance or quality. Let's go for performance. DLSS output resolution. Here we go. And let's run it. Fun that it collects my system info every time. Can't you just collect it once and run through everything? Been asked here what the noise level of the GPU is like. It's fairly damn quiet right now. I mean, for more accurate numbers, check our written review, because like I said, that has been tested in a more contained environment with like a, you know, an audio, like a decibel meter, which I don't have. I just have my bad ears, and my bad ears say fairly quiet. I've been asked, is Amazon out of stock? I was refreshing like crazy on Best Buy, Newegg, and Amazon. Well, that is kind of what we heard might happen, that there might be some low stock on the cards. So, hopefully more very soon. But yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to the actual pre-orders and stuff, because I myself wasn't going to get it day and date, because, well, I have the luxury of being in an office where we get in the latest cards and we get to test them, and then I can make an informed opinion. Oh, but you also have that luxury, because you can read our our coverage, see our videos, and then make an informed decision. So, I don't know, out of stock right at opening of selling, doesn't sound good. Sound like, I don't know, maybe COVID had something to do with you know, supply, but hopefully that will be remedied soon, because this is very much the card that everyone wants, and Nvidia would like to get as many of them out before AMD comes out, and what, in start of October, or is it end of October, where they're going to announce what Big Navi is. So well, they want to get as many people to get that before the competition reveals what they have. So Wasted Sausage says, I'd wait a bit though, who knows, there could be faults with the first batch of them. I mean, I can only speak for the card that we have and have used. We haven't found any manufacturing faults. It is, for the most part, delivering exactly what it says on the box. So, like I said, read the full review from somebody that has been sitting with it for several days and testing it out extensively. They can, in written form, give you a full-on opinion on how it performed and all that. Yeah, wow, everywhere is out of stock. Oh, you're not getting this one though, that's for sure. Because this one Well, it's not mine. I was gonna say this one is mine, but no, it's could be sent back. Here we go. We're on the second run, running through with DLSS on. Like I say, with the card running at 99%, with the fans going, I barely hear it, and that is thanks to a large degree to you know, Torque's what is it, 3.0 now, that NVIDIA has been, well, fine-tuning throughout the last generations, and I mean, just the way that they stagger their blades is it works, and it's silent. It's more silent than the fans that came with the AIO, because I can hear them. Actually, maybe if I take my mic here, put it all the way up to it. I mean, I don't know how that came across on camera, but I mean, it is audible, but also I don't have any front plate on. In a closed system, it hasn't bothered us at all. But like I said, for more detailed like decibel numbers and stuff, you check out the review. Here we go, nearly there. And then after this, I'm gonna drop into a game and see how it performs in game. So with DLSS off, we were getting about 25.82 frames. With DLSS on, we got 66.4. I wonder if... no, Kim didn't have that on his list here, but respectable. Like the jump in frame rate just by turning DLSS on. And I mean, the visual quality didn't suffer at all. But again, this is a synthetic benchmark. So let's drop into a game and test it out there. Let's see. Start with Epic Game Launcher because I want to play Control. Cloud syncing, and of course we're going to launch it in DirectX 12. Oh, I wish you could skip all of these. Okay, so first off, before we head into the game, let's check out the options and see what we are set to. So we are running in 4K, render resolution. 1440, oh yeah, because DLSS is on. So the game is rendered in 1440 but displayed in 4K because of DLSS upscaling it. And this should all just be on high, come on. We're going all the way. Let's turn everything on and up. High ray tracing preset. There we go. So everything maxed out. See what happens when we get in game. So we are getting around 60 frames per second. So I dipped to 40 there, but I think that was... Oh, they're just not gonna spawn here? Okay. I want some enemies on screen. Some chaos. There we go. Oh, there's actually... Nope. I don't know why I'm trying to play the game when I should just be... You know what? Let's head back. Get into some mayhem. The Panopticon, but I want to find... Oh, there we go. I just killed them all like that. Done. Yeah, you can see up in the corner here, we're steady at around 56, upwards to 60, down to 48. But let's try something. Let's go into options, display. Let's turn off DLSS. Put the render resolution all the way up. And try running the game in 4K without DLSS. Yeah, not great. Down to, what, 30 frames. On the other hand, let's try 2K. If it lets me. And then render through 1440. No DLSS. But with ray tracing like turned all the way up. How dare you? We're hitting, yeah, still around 58. One more thing I want to try before we move on to the next game. The resolution here, render resolution down to 1080p and turn on DLSS. Ah, okay. 1707 times 960. And then we boost it up to a very respectable 86. And I'm not really focused on playing. I'm trying to keep an eye on those numbers. Yeah, gotta love those diffused shadows with ray tracing on. But yeah, how about we move on to another game? Forgot to close that, put that down there. Let's run the Metro Exodus benchmark. So, run the Metro Exodus benchmark with everything turned all the way up in 4K, quality extreme, 16x texture filtering, Normal motion blur, ray tracing is high, and DLSS is on. Let's see what it does. Now this is going to take some time to load because that's just how the benchmark works. We're being asked, is it a 4K screen? Shouldn't 1080 and DLSS work pretty well? Yeah, this is a 4K screen, so the native resolution of the screen is 4K. I had some issues, I think that was actually before DLSS 2.0, where I was trying to use DLSS while running the game natively at 1080p, but from what I've heard, I haven't tried myself, is that running a game on a 1080p screen with DLSS 2.0 works wonders. But we do have a laptop review coming up that tries out exactly that, so keep an eye out for that. But oh, hacking bragging on YouTube saying I upgraded basically every part in my PC just to get screwed over because it ran out of stock. I feel your pain. And I can see here that this benchmark is still loading. Ah, it takes so long. But I don't mind it taking long as it doesn't crash, which it does sometimes, which is not a reflection on anything in the system, it's just this benchmark sometimes crashes during loading for no apparent reason. And when it does, it's like a hard reboot, so hopefully you won't get to that. But here we go. Ooh. Sticking to a nice 66, and with the frame time being, well, could be better, but it's not too shabby at 14 milliseconds. So it's and it just always surprised me just how good this game looks, because this is one of the only games out there right now that uses well, RTX for everything. It has global illumination, shadows, reflections, all of it. A lot of the other games out there use one part, like Modern Warfare, that we'll test out in a little bit, only uses it for shadows, while Battlefield only uses it for reflections. Control has a combination, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Metro Exodus is the only game that uses it for everything. That is out right now. There's a few on the horizon coming soon, especially with the new console generation also supporting ray tracing, with the RTX being bundled into DirectX 12 Ultimate. We're going to be seeing a lot more ray traced games that are developed to be ray traced from the ground up, instead of, you know, kind of double development where you need to first make the game and then also develop the ray tracing aspect. But see here. No, let's not use NVIDIA Highlight right now. Okay, so the 99th percentile was 56.99 frames per second, topping up at, let's see, I mean the minimum frame rate was 36.5 and the max frame rate was 86.3. So we don't have like, sometimes when you run these benchmarks, you'll have like a dip that goes way down and then that skews the average. But here it doesn't feel, although this does seem a little bit low. But I mean, we are in the 99th percentile for average, max, and minimum frame rates. So we did pretty well there. Should I try and run it without DLSS, actually? The answer is yes. We'll try it. Which means we have to wait for the load again. I didn't consider that. But yeah, prepare for the results for this to be quite a lot lower than with DLSS on, because yeah, DLSS helps a lot. Although not that much lower here in the average to start with. But we lost, what, 20 frames per second? I'll see it going up here and then back down once the fire kicks up. And now we're down to 39. I should actually maybe up the polling rate for Afterburner so we get more accurate frames per second results. You can also see the frame time here is up now to what, 25 milliseconds. It was 14 with DLSS on. So because it's not all about frame rate, it's also how you can get an X amount of frames per second, but the space between them matters as well. It should be always the same spacing. Because if the frame time gets too high, you can have a high frame rate, but it feels like you are getting dips or lower frame rate through visual experience. But so let's see here. Average frame rate was 41.93. We're still in the upper 99th percentile. Which I'll take that. I'll take that home. Let's close that down. Now, of course, I'm running a bit fast and loose with my testing methodology here because, you know, I'm running a live stream, so I'm not running the same benchmark several times to see what it averages out to and stuff like that. We're moving quick and fast in between. So let's move on to the next game. And actually, I think it's time for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. If they hit me with an update now, I'll be mad. Checked that 3 times before the stream started. Let's jump into the campaign real quick, and I like to jump into the embassy because there are certain points there where I can very easily show the difference between when ray tracing is on and when ray tracing is off in how it works with the shadows. And we are actually right there. I mean, I've shown this in a video or two before, but let's do it again. If you look at these shadows being projected down here from that light through here, with ray tracing on, if I just jump in real quick and try and find it in the menu, because I never can, and turn it off. Now the shadow is just a block, just a baked-in shadow map that, oh. Uh-oh. We have a crash, people. Interesting. Dev error, DirectX encountered an unrecoverable error. Okay, well, we'll try that again. No, we don't want safe mode. We're gonna live dangerously. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but my heart is racing a little bit right now. I accidentally went to multiplayer. There we go. Here we are back again. Let's see if I can turn ray tracing back on without it crashing. In advanced, display resolution and the render resolution is the same. And yeah, we're back with some beautiful ray traced shadows. So let's check the performance out here as I move through the embassy. Actually get into some action. I mean, I basically have everything topped up, and I'm getting what, at around 100, just under 100 frames per second. Yeah, I'm not going to open the door though. Let's move on. I want to get into some shooty. Didn't I pick up? No, there we go. I think I was too late on that nade. I mean, we're not going under 80 frames per second, running in 4K with ray tracing on. Actually, let's get to the next. Man. Ah, okay, yeah. We need. I don't have audio in. Yeah, you get the idea. Let's jump on over to another game. Let's see what we can get there. Like I said, it was I think averaging out at around 90 frames per second. But let's try a hog of a game that sucks out resources if you want to try to run it in 4K. Will be overkill, but can you test 1080p on Call of Duty? Lol, so curious to see what it will get. You know what? After this, I'll get right to that. Just for you. Hey, saludos from Chile. Hey! And welcome to Gamereactor. I was going to say Gamereactor Live, but this isn't really a Gamereactor Live. This is a special live stream where we're testing out, well, the Gaming X Trio 3080. And just saying that fills my heart with joy. I've been waiting for the next generation of graphics cards for what feels like since they announced the 2080 Super cards, and I was like, come on, just give us the new thing. But anyway, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Let's first check the options. Running at native 4K at refresh rate of the monitor. Second in the loading menu. That's in the hints menu. Let's see, F1 to change this up. Get away, Club Reward. There we go. I mean, we're staying just under 60 frames per second for the most part. In full 4K and no DLSS. But I can also tell that our i9 10900K would like a little bit more cool air. Oh, we actually averaged over 60 frames per second. Amazing. For any of you out there that have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, try running a 4K benchmark on your system right now and come back and check the numbers. But I was asked to check out 1080p with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, so that's what we're gonna do. Now I'm actually thinking, like, can I actually change the resolution? Or do I need to change the native resolution in Windows? Anyway, we'll figure that out together. So let's hit up the options first. General graphics. There we go. Render. That's just the render resolution, though. Where do I actually change the actual display resolution? I'm hovering over it right now. Wow, okay, I read that wrong. Anyway, 1920 1080. I'm gonna try it first with the render resolution set to 100, and then I'm gonna try bumping that up. So we're running now in 1080. Was there actually any frame rate? Did it lock it down to the refresh rate? Custom frame rate limit. Unlimited. Yeah, we'll jump into a multiplayer, why not? And now, of course, I'm gonna absolutely suck because I can't hear anything, and I have a giant distracting information running right here, but okay. Taking its sweet time to actually find a match. But I mean, as you can see here, we're not, well, we'll see when we get into game, but like 60% usage of the GPU. It's rising now. This is what you wanted to see, right? Up to 800 frames per second. Why do I have this site on this? I don't know. Yeah, those extra frames didn't help me there. You know what? Yeah, we're getting like up to 240. Don't know if it's being locked down by something else, but I want to go into the graphics. Oh, we're getting that crash again. Or what? No, it just minimized. Nope, nope, nope. Dev error. Why are you having difficulties, DirectX? Yeah, I'm gonna bench that then. Might need to like verify the files or something along those lines. But I was thinking, we all know that Crysis Remaster is coming out. In fact, you might expect to see some gameplay on the site very soon. However, I want to try the OG version. So this is the original Crysis from 2007. It has been updated so that it can run on modern systems. But let's see what this thing... I mean, we have to answer the question, can it run Crysis? And in lieu of the remastered version, this is just the original Crysis. But let's see what it can do. Now, I should note that I did have some issues with it crashing while I was testing before the stream when going from gameplay in 4K to the cutscenes that are, I think, like 720p or something. So if that happens, that's why. But in the options, we set the graphics to 4K and basically everything to very high. So let's answer the question together. Can it run Crysis? And can it run Crysis well? The answer is no, not to begin with, but I think I know why. Boot it up again. I need to load into the game in 2K and then change the resolution after I've loaded in. There's something with loading into the game in 4K that makes a mess of it. Intel Core 2 advertisement at the beginning of the game. So we'll start by changing the res. To 1440. 1920, but there we go. 2K. Oh, it's having issues. There we go. Let's load in again. And again, for those that just joined in and see me booting up Crysis, this is OG 2007 Crysis, not the remastered. So this is with everything on high in 2K. Let's see if I can safely switch it to 4K without it crashing on me. That is in system settings, not game settings. So now, getting just under 100 frames per second in 4K in, well, 2007 Crysis, but what happened to my shields? They were supposed to protect me. And like how they did water like this back in 2007 still amazes me. With all the god rays. So yeah, can it run Crysis? Yes, it can, with some fine angling and fix it. That is not the graphics card's fault. It's of course a very, very old game. Let's run 1 or 2 more games, and then after that, I think we're kind of done here. Let's see. Thanks heaps. Over 200 FPS. Wow, that's insane. Indeed. Talking about Call of Duty. That's the problem with having the chat there behind me. Battlefield. Yes, let's run Battlefield. I need to log in again. because EA... Can I move this? Ah, okay. Just close your eyes. Don't send me spam mail, please. So let's boot up Battlefield and see what we got. Okay, why you wanna, there we go. Got some loading, and of course I need to check and make sure all the settings are correct. If it remembered my preference, no, thank you, to boot in DirectX 12. If I need to switch that, then I need to reboot the game. Annoying. Why not just give me the option like Control does right out of the gate? Do you want to boot in DirectX 11 or 12? But no. Check the options. So we are running in 4K 144 Hertz. In advanced, we do have DirectX 12 enabled, and we have ray tracing on. Let's turn on DLSS. I don't want HDR right now. Frame rate limiter, I mean, okay. Let's limit it to 200 rather than the screen's 144 Hertz. And down here, everything is set to high except for post-process quality. And I mean, we can get HBAO, I guess. DirectX ray trace reflection quality ultra. Yeah, let's try booting in like so and see what we get. And I mean, I guess I'm just gonna boot into War Stories. I think I have a save here in Under the Flag that is not too far in. There we go. I mean, one of the issues that could be leading to these crashes and these hitches that I'm getting is that I am, of course, running on press drivers for the graphics card. It's not the official launch game-ready drivers that, you know, they've worked on and are out now, but there we go. Frame time is going wild, even though my frame rate is don't have grenades, come on. Get them headshots. Give me a gun. Destroy the enemy aircraft. Means we probably want to get on that flak cannon. And I mean, as you can see, the dynamic weather, it's raining. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, also that. I have a shotgun at this range. So where am I? Okay, let's get over there. I mean, we're dropping lowest, I think, to 65 frames per second, which, again, in 4K, I can live with. Where is he? Not being able to hear where they are is really messing me up. Interesting. Yeah, we got that DirectX error again. A little bit annoying. Actually, I wanna see if I can get something downloaded real quick. From a video, this is another game that is fully ray traced. It is basically a remake of Quake 2. Let's see if we get that running real quick. And while we wait for that, let's check the chat. Can it run Minesweeper or Doom 64 or Morrowind? You know what? Even though the chat was behind me, I kind of read your mind because I'm about to play Quake 2 to see if it runs that. But yeah, wow, that actually looked wildly amazing already. Yeah, I mean, Battlefield 5 looks great, but it is also a game that came out right when ray tracing was first being introduced. So all the fixes that have been made to the technology is something that they have then needed to patch on and fix code in Battlefield 5. So it is not super optimized. Unfortunately, the next one will, for sure. But yeah, it has taken a while to get Battlefield to run properly, with ray tracing and DLSS and everything on. But here, getting from 60 to 80 frames, sometimes dipping up to 100, that's like, yeah, I haven't seen that testing with the 20 series before. Not in 4K. But it should be downloaded. I mean, and if you already have an RTX card, you definitely should download this and give it a try. So first off, let's check the options. Graphical settings. Render is RTX, video mode desktop, vertical sync no, we don't need the frame counter, let's up the resolution scaling options, let's see, temporal anti-aliasing, global illumination, let's put that to high, refraction, let's put it all the way up to 8. Thick glass reflection enabled. There we go. Environment setup. Sky type strogos. yeah, I don't need to mess with that. So yeah, wait, I want to check the key bindings real quick. Because I believe there's a key to turn on and off ray tracing. Maybe I just need to go into the menu and change the renderer. Anyway, let's run around a little bit. Actually, I want to change some of the graphical settings here because, yeah, I went full tilt. So with 4 reflection depth. I don't understand why we're still only getting 32 frames per second in this. Let's see if I change. Let's change the renderer to OpenGL. And then back to RTX. So this is like how it normally looked, and we're getting upwards of 1,000 frames per second. Back to RTX. Let's see if it... Still only getting 32. This is not what I expected. Denoiser textures. Can't be because I changed the field of view. That would be... I changed the field of view completely. Cut raise bloom, denoiser. I changed something that I shouldn't have changed. Let's see, we're in 4K. Let's try 2K. Yeah, I did change something that I shouldn't have changed. Let's see. I turned on like VR or something almost. It's so weird. But yeah, I mean, now I'm just sitting here having too much fun. The point is, we've run some synthetic benchmarks, some game benchmarks, trying out, you know, Dlss 4K. Let's see. Wow, RTX 3080. Yeah. To be more precise, this one right here, the Gaming X Trio from MSI that we have been running tests on. We have a review up on the site and you know, videos as well. So you should check that out. And I promise you, the actual text review has a lot stricter texting methodology than I have had on the stream here. I've been trying to keep it flowing and entertaining as well. You know, if I had run the same benchmark 5 times every time, we wouldn't have anybody watching right now. Can you sell it to me? No, I cannot. It's not mine. It's not ours. It's gonna be sent back. This is just for review purposes. But yeah, I think it's about time to end it right here. This has been a lot of fun. If you want to see more live streams like this, of course, let us know. Sign up for our website where you can get daily gaming news and, of course, get notified when we do this next time. Spoiler alert, we'll probably do this next time with a 3090. So, let us know. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. But that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.